So it's about 80 degrees out today, and that really kind of got me in the mood to review a really nice fall fragrance that I'm excited to wear, Impact Intense by Tommy Hilfiger. I'm a big fan of the original Impact. I like everything going on with these bottles. The integrated travel atomizer in the cap is a really cool touch. And again, when they released this flanker here and I got my hands on it, I was blown away by it. Like, this is seriously impressive. It's kind of one of those things where as soon as I smelled it, I knew I really enjoyed it. I knew it was something good. And each time I've gone back to it and worn it more, I've just fallen in love with it more. So today I'm going to be reviewing this one. I'm going to tell you how it smells, how it performs when you can wear it, and ultimately I think it's going to be worth picking up. So let's go ahead and start off with the smell. Now when you first spray this one on, it opens up with this nice apple note. Along with that, a good amount of woods, some chestnut, some amber. So there's kind of a sweet woody balance with a little bit of a fruity counterpart. So when you hear that and you look at the note breakdown, you kind of start thinking of essentially which camp this one's going to fall into. And it does kind of go into the, sweet category of men's fragrances. Really, that's not so much a surprise anymore because that's kind of what everyone's doing these days. But I really like how it comes across up top. You know, it has a little bit of a spiciness as well. And there's something going on here that catches your attention. You know, it's not one that is dull and boring off the opening. There's a bit of a resinous sweetness from it. A nice spicy woodiness, a bit creamy as well. It's just very pleasant up top. For me, that amber note is like right there, right in the forefront when you spray it on. You know, it's a nice heavy sweet amber, and then all of those other notes are kind of coming in underneath to support it. I'll go ahead and read off the official note breakdown here. Up top we have red apple, elemi resin, bergamot. In the mid, we have amber, chestnut, cardamom, labdanum. In the base, we have akagala wood, Atlas cedar, Virginia cedar, Texas cedar, and sandalwood. So that always kind of makes me laugh. 3 different types of cedar wood in here. You know, me, I can't distinguish between the 3 different types of cedar wood, but I can tell you there's a lot of cedar wood in here. And I'm not just saying that because they have it listed 3 times. You actually get a good amount of cedar wood and woods in general in this one. But I find that comes in once you get into the mid/base. So essentially what I pick up on there as it transitions is the chestnut note will start to come through working into the mid. I really like that. I love chestnut in fragrances. For me, that instantly gives it kind of a cooler weather / almost holiday type of smell for me, you know, because that's a note used in Replica by the Fireplace, and I know I talk about this all the time. It just kind of has this woody, sweet smell, almost like you're sitting by the fire roasting marshmallows, that sort of thing. So it could be a fall smelling scent or also kind of a holidays, desserts, wintertime type of smell also. The amber still stays pretty strong as you work into the mid, and also the elemi resin. So like I said, it just kind of opens up with that resinous smell, and that sticks through into the mid as well. So again, there's some of that spiciness that I mentioned up top that would be coming from the cardamom, and that kind of sticks around also, just adding a bit of oriental feel as it kind of starts to settle down. Labdanum's giving a little bit of a creaminess too. So where it gets really nice for me is the base, the full dry down. So that's when you get a lot of the woodiness out of this one. So for me, I get a lot of the sandalwood, and that sandalwood mixing with like the labdanum, the amber, just adds even more of a creaminess. It's like a creamy woody smell. The cedar wood is what's kind of giving it some texture. You know, sandalwood is pretty smooth, most of the time how it's used. But the cedar wood, depending on the type, and we have 3 types here, depending on how it's used, what it's blended with, it kind of, to me, always gives kind of a texturization to the scent in the base. And that's kind of what the cedar wood does here. It just roughs it up, gives you a bit more bite. So it dries down to a woody, warm, semi-spicy scent. Now, I'm not saying that this is niche quality or has the creativity or composition of a niche fragrance, but I will say that it kind of surprises me coming from a designer brand, more so Tommy Hilfiger. Now, they don't release bad fragrances by any means, but a lot of their stuff is on the fresher side, and it's just very mass-pleasing and kind of basic. I mean that in the best way possible. This here, while again, it's not like a niche fragrance, you know, it has a good amount of thought behind it, a good amount of depth, a good amount of substance. Like there's some stuff going on here. It's not your typical thing that you would expect from Tommy Hilfiger. And that's why I was so shocked when I smelled this one. And honestly, I was kind of shocked when I smelled the original Impact as well, because while that one isn't nearly as unique and, in my opinion, quite as good as this one, that fragrance was still what I thought to be better than most other things that the brand puts out. Really quickly, I want to run through a few of the Fragrantica comparisons, and then we'll touch on performance. So first one, the original Impact. For me, not a whole lot of a similarity. The original Impact, it's a woody scent, but it's woody and citrusy. Not a whole lot of sweetness in that one. So, you know, kind of similar, I guess, considering they both utilize woods, but I think they still kind of are meant for different things. The original Impact, kind of more of, I guess, a signature scent slash maybe spring scent. Could be worn all year round. Impact Intense, for me, I'm finding it to be more of a fall and winter scent. Next up, Parfums de Marly Layton. So for real, it kind of does actually have a bit of a Layton thing going on. Layton opens up with the apple, the spices, vanilla, woods. This one doesn't have vanilla, but it kind of has a similar composition. While it is not a clone of Layton, while it does not touch Layton in terms of the quality or even the performance, which we'll touch on in a minute, I can see the comparison to that one. And I would say, yeah, there's a little bit of a similarity. But again, I don't want to mislead people and say that this is a clone of Layton or like a, you know, one-to-one alternative, because it's not. But kind of giving you a similar feel, yeah, I can understand that. Next up, the original Stronger With You. So I do see this as well because of that chestnut. It's a very distinct smell, and that's why I like the original Stronger With You and also Stronger With You Absolutely, because they utilize that chestnut really well, and for me it's just a really nice fall, wintertime note. But other than that, they kind of go in different directions. We have Mugler Pure Wood. I've never smelled Pure Wood. I wish I could, because it probably would be good. Woody, oak, and vanilla. It looks like a great scent. Again, I just have never smelled it, and from what I can tell, it's discontinued and it's kind of hard to get these days. Replica by the Fireplace. Again, you know, it's got the chestnut. I can see where they're coming from, but again, for me, it still kind of walks off and does its own thing. Spice Bomb, Night Vision, Eau de Parfum. I really don't get too much of a comparison there, other than being kind of woody, I suppose, and then just a whole bunch of other stuff. So we'll call it at that. You know, a little bit of a comparison to Layton, a little bit of a Stronger With You, chestnut opening, but I think this one still kind of is off in its own little world here. And that leads me to performance. So performance on my skin has been around 8-9 hours of longevity. So that's about what you would expect from an eau de parfum like this one is, and I can't complain. It's also worth noting that this is not at discounters yet. So once it does hit and it's more affordable, that performance there will instantly be a really good selling point. Because if you pay retail for something like this, you would expect it to have a bare minimum of 8-9 hours performance like that, or most people would want that. But once you get it down to a bit of a lower price, that performance is really going to be making this one stand out. And of course, along with just how good the scent smells as well. That's going to help quite a bit too. Projection's a little bit on the soft side, but I like that because this is kind of almost a more intimate scent, at least for me. One that I would want to wear just kind of in a closer encounter, evening environment, something where I just don't want to be too loud on a date, that sort of thing. So the fact that the performance is a bit more mild is something that I'm okay with. Just drop the cap, excuse me. So yeah, the performance there in terms of projection, not really a deal breaker for me. And don't get me wrong, it's not a skin scent. It's more of just a personal bubble type of scent. And it'll stay that way for a few hours. So it's not like it's first sprayed on for an hour, it's okay, and then it just falls flat. For a good majority of the wearing of this one, it'll kind of hang in your personal bubble. So one where if you are coming in close contact with people, they'll be able to smell it. And finally, do I think this is worth picking up? Absolutely. Now, the retail price is one of those things where if you want to wait it out, then you can, and they'll hit discounters at some point, or you can get it at retail. I don't know what the price of this one's going to end up falling down to on discounters, and it hasn't hit there yet. Once it does hit, it's still probably going to be priced high. Sometimes when new things hit discounters, it's still kind of priced right at retail or sometimes a bit over, sometimes a bit under by a couple dollars. So even once it hits discounters, you still have to wait for the price to creep down. That's going to be totally up to you. You know, we're working into that time of year where if you want to give it another solid month to cool down, and if it hasn't hit yet, then pick it up at retail, you could do that. I just don't really know when to expect this one. Things have been taking a while to hit discounters recently, so I really don't know. I obviously paid retail for this one, and I'm okay with that purchase. I really am. This smells great to me. I really like scents like this, so not a big deal for me. Don't get me wrong. When I was placing a retail order for a Tommy Hilfiger, I was cringing the whole time. I believe I might have gotten like a free bag of this, or maybe that was with the Tommy Bahama that I bought at retail. I don't remember. I might have gotten some extra goodies because I ordered it from the official website. I don't know for sure, but yeah, it was a little bit cringeworthy, but when I smelled this, I was glad that I did it. That's going to do it for me, guys. That was my review on Tommy Hilfiger Impact Intense. If you've tried this one, let me know what you think down below. If you haven't tried it yet, are you interested in it? You know, is this something that you would be excited to try or not? And also, if you want to watch videos just like this one in advance, if you want access to bonus videos and the ability to chat with me one-on-one on a Discord, join the channel memberships. They will be linked down below, or hit the join button next to the subscribe button. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.